Have you ever woken up in the morning, stretched your legs, and winced at that familiar ache in your knees? Or maybe you've noticed your fingers feeling stiff after a long evening watching TV or reading a good book. If you're over 70, you're not imagining it. Joint pain and inflammation seem to sneak up more often, don't they? Now, sure, we expect our bodies to slow down a little with age. But what many folks don't realize is that some of that pain, those stiff knees, swollen fingers, or that dull ache in your hips, might actually be coming from your plate. That's right. What we eat can either soothe our joints or silently stir up inflammation and make things worse. So today, I want to have a real talk with you, just you and me, about the foods that might be triggering that discomfort. Because the truth is, once we hit our 70s, our bodies don't bounce back the way they used to. We need to be just a little more careful, a little more intentional, especially when it comes to the things we're putting into our bodies every single day. Let's start with something that's probably in your kitchen right now: sugar. I know. We all love a little sweetness. A piece of cake at a birthday party, a warm cinnamon roll on a Sunday morning, or even just a teaspoon of sugar in our morning coffee. But here's the thing. Sugar doesn't just give us a little energy boost or sweeten our mood. It also kicks off a chain reaction in the body that leads to inflammation. It raises your blood sugar quickly, which can trigger your immune system to respond as if there's a threat. Over time, this low-level inflammation can start to wear down the cushioning in your joints, leading to pain and stiffness. And it's not just the obvious sweets. Sugar hides in places you'd never expect. Your healthy granola, probably packed with it. That store-bought spaghetti sauce or salad dressing. Yep, likely loaded. Even fruit yogurts, those ones with the pretty berries on the label, can contain as much sugar as a candy bar. It's sneaky like that. So, next time you reach for something that tastes just a little too sweet to be true, check the label. Your knees might thank you. Now let's talk about another big troublemaker: processed meats. You know, things like bacon, ham, sausages, and deli meats. I get it. These are convenient, tasty, and they remind us of weekend breakfasts or quick sandwiches we've made for years. But processed meats are full of preservatives like nitrates and advanced glycation end products, called AGEs for short. That's a funny little name for something that can make us feel older than we are. AGEs are formed when food is cooked to high temperatures, like grilling or frying, and they cause inflammation in the body. When we eat a lot of these, our immune system sees them as trouble and sends out little messengers to fight back. The problem is that fight causes swelling and pain, especially in our joints. It's kind of like turning on a fire alarm in your body that never stops ringing. That bacon might be crispy and delicious, but it's setting off alarm bells in your immune system every time you eat it. And here's something else that's worth chatting about: refined carbs. These are things like white bread, white rice, and those fluffy dinner rolls we all love. They may feel comforting, even nostalgic, but they don't do us any favors. When we eat these carbs, our blood sugar spikes and then crashes. That up and down sugar roller coaster fuels inflammation, just like sugar does. And just like sugar, these carbs don't offer our joints anything helpful. No vitamins, no fiber, no anti-inflammatory support. Just a temporary full belly and a longer-lasting ache in our knees. It might be hard to imagine giving these things up entirely. And don't worry, I'm not here to tell you to cut everything out cold turkey. That's not sustainable, and frankly, it's not enjoyable. Food is part of life's joy. But what I am saying is this: if your joints are acting up, if you're feeling stiff or sore more often than not, it might be time to take a closer look at what you're eating. Just being mindful, swapping out that white bread for something whole grain, easing up on the sugar in your morning coffee, or choosing roasted chicken over processed lunch meats can make a bigger difference than you think. I've seen it happen. A woman I know, Carol, she's 73, lives in Michigan, was struggling with daily swelling in her hands. She thought it was just arthritis and age. But after keeping a little food journal and slowly cutting out the sugary snacks and cold cuts, she told me she woke up one day and realized she could close her fist without pain. That's real. That's what small, thoughtful changes can do. And you deserve that kind of relief, too. Now, before we go any further, just take a moment to think about your own meals this past week. Did you notice any patterns? Maybe some of those sugary snacks snuck in more than once? Or maybe you've been leaning on easy deli sandwiches a little too often just to keep things simple. It's okay. No judgment here. We're all doing the best we can with the time and energy we've got. But now that you know how some of these foods might be fueling the discomfort in your joints, you've got the power to make a shift, one meal at a time. So, now that we've started looking at sugar, processed meats, and those sneaky refined carbs, let's keep going. Because sometimes the foods that affect our joints the most are the ones we've trusted for years. They've been part of our family meals, our routines, our comfort zone. But the truth is, some of them don't love us back, at least not the way our joints would like. Let's talk about dairy. Yep, that morning bowl of cereal with milk, the slice of cheese on your sandwich, or even that evening scoop of ice cream. Now, for some folks, dairy isn't a problem at all. But for others, especially those of us getting a little older, it can quietly cause inflammation without making a big fuss. And that inflammation shows up right where it hurts the most, your knees, your fingers, maybe your lower back. The tricky part is, it's not always easy to link the two. You might enjoy a glass of milk at dinner and wake up the next morning with stiff joints, but not make the connection. That's because the inflammation builds slowly. For many seniors, it's not a dramatic allergic reaction. It's a gradual, aching kind of discomfort that's easy to blame on age or the weather. Now, I'm not saying you need to toss out every block of cheese in the fridge, but it might be worth trying a little experiment. Take a break from dairy for a week, just 7 days, and see how your body responds. You can swap regular milk for almond or oat milk, try dairy-free yogurts, and explore other options. If you notice even a small improvement in how your joints feel, that's a clue your body's been quietly asking for a change. Another food group that might be adding fuel to the fire? Vegetable oils. This one catches a lot of people off guard. We often think of oils like soybean, corn, and sunflower as neutral, or even healthy. But many of these are packed with omega-6 fatty acids, and when our bodies get too many of these without enough omega-3s to balance things out, the result is, you guessed it, inflammation. This isn't about demonizing fat. Our bodies need healthy fats, but the kind matters. The oils used in most processed foods, packaged snacks, and even many restaurant meals are the inflammatory kind. They sneak into your meals when you're not even thinking about it. That bag of chips, fried in vegetable oil. That frozen meal, probably loaded with it. Even the so-called healthy granola bars often use these oils to hold things together. Instead, try cooking with extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, or even a little coconut oil. These fats are more stable, more balanced, and kinder to your joints. And when you eat out or grab something pre-made, check the label, or better yet, cook at home when you can. A home-cooked meal with wholesome ingredients doesn't just taste better. It makes your whole body feel better, too. Now, I want to bring up something a little controversial: nightshades. I'm talking about tomatoes, bell peppers, eggplants, and even white potatoes. These are colorful, flavorful staples in many households. And honestly, they're packed with nutrients. But for some people, especially those with arthritis or ongoing joint issues, nightshades can be a hidden source of flare-ups. They contain a natural compound called solanine, which in sensitive individuals may contribute to joint pain and stiffness. Again, this doesn't apply to everyone, and these foods aren't bad in general. But if you've been eating a lot of tomato sauce or enjoying baked potatoes several times a week and also noticing your joints protesting afterward, it might be worth taking a closer look. You don't have to give them up forever. Just try cutting back for a couple of weeks and see if your body breathes a little easier. Sometimes the answer to our pain isn't more medication, it's fewer triggers. And finally, this one's close to my heart because it hits home for so many people I know: alcohol. Now listen, I'm not here to take away your glass of wine with dinner or that occasional cocktail with friends. Life's meant to be enjoyed, but it's also meant to be lived fully, without constant pain holding you back. And alcohol, even in small amounts, can irritate the gut, throw off your body's balance, and trigger inflammation. For people dealing with joint issues, alcohol can be like pouring gasoline on a small fire. You might not notice it right away, but over time, it adds up. That evening drink may help you unwind, but if it's making your joints swell or ache the next day, is it really worth it? You don't have to give it up forever. But consider this. Take a week off and see what happens. Give your body a break. Let your joints catch their breath. Sometimes just one simple choice can make a world of difference. The thing is, when we're in our 70s and beyond, our bodies are talking to us all the time. The aches, the pains, the fatigue, they're all messages, not punishments, just quiet little whispers asking us to listen. And food is one of the loudest conversations we can have with our bodies every single day. You're not stuck with this pain. You're not doomed to a life of stiffness or soreness just because you've celebrated more birthdays. There's so much power in what you choose to eat or not eat. And every meal is a chance to either calm the storm or stir it up. So what's one thing you could do this week to help your joints feel a little lighter, a little looser, a little more? I'd love to hear about it. What foods have helped you feel better? Which ones seem to make things worse? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I promise I read them, and you never know who else might benefit from your story.